Hey, how's it going? Welcome to News Act, Monday 17th January 2022. Looking from the papers. First up, New York Times picture from the Bronx fire victims' funeral estate. Over on the right, China lockdown causing problems with supply chain. Down here, Broadway attendance line go down. Financial Times US edition, there's Djokovic flying out of Australia and hopefully out of the news cycle. In the middle, hedge funds produce biggest profits in a decade with $65 billion haul. Wow, that's almost 20% of Elon Musk's net worth. So down here, Sweden dispatches troops to strategic island as Russia steps up Baltic activity. So even EU countries getting worried that Putin might come knocking. Grandma from Cuba, usual party news. Down the bottom, quote from Fidel: to find out what the people want, all you have to do is come and talk to the people. Yeah, it should be simple. Thank you, Fidel. South Africa, corruption, celebs. Jerusalem Post, intense weather, cold, floods. Over on the right, Netanyahu, trial ongoing, might get a plea deal. Tehran Times, McKenzie says Iran is invincible. That's the outgoing commander of the US Central Command, General Frank McKenzie. Don't think he said it in that many words, but according to Tehran, that's what he said. On the left, criticising the American health sector. On the right, criticising the American defence industry because they might go to war with Russia over Ukraine. The Hindu COVID infections line go up 40%. It's a big jump. The Australian Djokovic on his way out. So long, good luck. Global Times to China. Some overturned boats in Japan after the underwater volcano erupted in Tonga. Down here, Omicron in Beijing, rushing to stamp it out because of the upcoming Winter Games. Irish Examiner, Taoiseach 1 and Taoiseach 2. Yes, they had a ceremony to mark 100 years, the handover of Dublin Castle. Dublin Castle was, of course, the seat of British power in Ireland for a long time. They handed back the Irish after the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty, which ended the War of Independence and kicked off the Civil War. Good times. True crime on the left. Down the bottom, COVID restrictions might be lifted. Irish Times, tennis player on the way out. There's Michael D. Higgins at the ceremony yesterday. Thank you for your service. Coalition might end the restrictions. The Sun, restrictions on the way out. Football, true crime. Belfast Telegraph, I'll be back, says the Northern Ireland cyborg. That's Neil Harbison, who's an artist and an activist for trans species rights, best known as being the first person in the world with an antenna implanted in his skull. An ethics committee at the time said he definitely should not get an antenna implanted in his skull, but they went ahead and did it anyway, some unnamed doctors. He's the world's first legally recognised cyborg, and he can take phone calls on it. Apparently Ruby Wax was the first person to call him on it, so there you go. The Herald from Scotland, football, Boris, Djokovic. Financial Times, UK edition, there's Djokovic on the way out. GSK and Pfizer hold out for £60 billion consumer arm bid from Unilever. Wow, that's almost 20% of Elon Musk's net worth. Down the bottom, same story with the hedge funds. Guardian, Boris accused attacking the BBC to save his own skin. So they're pulling the funding for the BBC, freezing it for the next 2 years, and then doing away with the licence fee. Probably something they're going to do anyway, but seems to have now been expedited and pushed to the front of the agenda because of everything that's going on, etc., etc. Over on the right, British man named in synagogue terror attacks on Saturday. There was a terrorist in synagogue and he took hostages. None of the hostages were harmed, but he himself was shot dead by the cops. So yet again, more terror being exported by the British Empire. The Times, energy bills line go up. Prime Minister calls in the military to stem the flow of migrants. Plan will resettle asylum seekers in Rwanda. Apparently the UK government want to fly refugees to Rwanda and Ghana for offshore processing, but even though they're offering hundreds of millions of pounds, no country has taken them up on it, thankfully. There's Djokovic on the way out. Texas synagogue gunman was British. Independent, 4 stories on top. Boris, Syria, Wordle, whatever that is. Football, there's Djokovic on the way out. Daily Telegraph, Djokovic on the way out. Johnson. Daily Express, there's Nadine Dorris, Culture Secretary, one of Boris's right-hand women, saying the licence fee will be axed. Prime Minister, fight back plan to level up Britain. Rah, rah, rah. The Express getting in behind Boris this morning. There's Prince Harry in the papers again. He is, of course, the nephew of Prince Andrew, who is accused of raping an underage girl trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. The billionaire paedophile financier did not kill himself, or IP. This particular story is saying Harry wants to come back to the UK. It's the Queen's Platinum Jubilee this year, but they're not going to provide him police protection anymore because he's no longer a working royal. And he said, well, there's credible threats against me, neo-Nazi threats apparently, even though he himself was pictured one time dressed up as a Nazi, and he wants to pay for the police protection, but they won't let him. I imagine there is threats against his life considering he's related to Prince Andrew. I would believe that. Daily Mirror, there's Harry again. Robbie Williams, a hitman tried to kill me. Wow, I'm just glad Robbie Williams is still alive. Haven't seen from him in a long time. Johnson scapegoat, same story about Boris. iNewspaper, Boris, Harry, BBC, Daily Mail. Starmer must say sorry for drinks in lockdown. Yeah, he has to apologise for having a beer at work too, apparently. The Metro, go pack Djokovic. Okay, not a great pun. Don't know if it even is a pun. Daily Star, Harry, celebs. Well, Prince Andrew is still the Duke of York, Boris is still the Prime Minister, and Julian Assange is still in jail at Her Majesty's pleasure in the maximum security Belmarsh prison in solitary confinement without fair trial or due process. It's a slow day by corporate media standards, but if you want to find out what's really going on, you want to stay off corporate state social media for the day, just click the link in the description. Alright, thanks, good luck.